How's it going, everyone? And welcome to a absolutely pants on head retarded episode of No Excuses on YouTube.com with your favorite show hosts, Aristil.
Fenurian.
And Volzel, and we're here to bring you the latest in freaky JoJo-inspired poses
Yes,
as
we
the
are.
world's dorkiest-looking Sentai team.
We're even color-coded, I mean, come on. Although, you're in red, that makes you the leader. This is a rule.
Right.
No,
Red one is always the leader.
You're Tommy Oliver in this case, so you're the de facto leader.
What's Tommy Oliver?
That's Power Rangers. You know, he kind of became the de facto leader up until he betrayed everyone.
And then he became the good guy again, and then he was the White Ranger.
And then he was overpowered as all hell, yes.
He was always overpowered, though. Like, he was like...
Yeah.
Isn't he the one who's, like, roughly the same level of power as all of the other five put together?
Yes. And then he became the White Ranger and became even more overpowered. It was really stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it made more sense in the original.
Maybe.
Where there was I don't know what the interstitials between combat looked like in the original. I don't know what I presume the entire story was chopped out and then replaced. But
Oh yeah, it was.
anyway, what were we talking about? We were introducing the show. We had to bring the latest news and commentary on the video games industry for the week that was. But if you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so, and you can do so quite easily by sending us email at noexcusesbtw@gmail.com, or you can join us in the tweet, or you can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesbtw, or you can join us in our Discord server. As you can hear, I'm still trying to keep my lungs on the inside.
You're
And you
getting
can
better.
get to the Discord server by clicking on the link that will be provided in the show archive on YouTube. Yes, I'm still suffering from lung issues, but it's been an ongoing issue for me for many years. When I get sick, my lungs stay sick for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, you're ignoring gravity and your dog popped up. Okay. Right, so, if we haven't figured it out, we are on the stream doing JoJo poses. Also playing Monster Hunter.
Yes, indeed. The new Monster Hunter expansion is out, and frankly, I haven't really had as much time as I'd like to dig into it, but,
Yeah, so far, Vol and I have gotten only up to... Well, basically, we've entered 2-star Master Rank. That's it.
yeah.
Ari hasn't even gotten that far, which is kind of unusual.
Well,
Yeah.
he's also in the midst of an American silly season right now.
Yeah, and also a truly brutal grind in Final Fantasy.
Well, that's just kind of not here or there, and has not impacted the amount of time I'd have.
Alright. So we're going to go, and we're going to go off and bully a Tetranodon while we get started.
Right. Did I eat my dongo? I ate my dongo.
Ichidongo. It's, it's all the healing goodness of rice flour and not much else.
I guess I've never had had dango before, so I don't really know what it comprises.
Yeah, I looked into it, and that's pretty much what it is.
It is
had some-
generally regarded as confection rather than food, isn't it?
Yes.
I had some Malcourt dongo once, and it was disgusting, but I'm pretty sure that's not indicative of actual dongo,
Yeah.
considering
But
it's from a mall food court.
Yeah,
They
mall
look
food court
kind-
food is a pale imitation at the best of times,
They look kind of like meat buns, which I basically subsist on, but
which are delicious.
yeah, I'm suspicious of anything that I buy at a mall that claims to be ethnic in any way.
Yeah. Just take mall food for what it is. It's mall food, it's not the genuine article. Alright. Here is a chonky boy. Where are you going?
To get bugs.
I guess you can get bugs. Yeah. But chonky boy is, like, right there.
I flew right over Chonky Boy and
Hell.
kicked a lizard.
Don't kick a lizard.
Well, it gave me a rock, so...
I mean, okay. So yeah, Sunbreak. It's a... Oh yeah, the expansion to Rise, and it improves upon a lot of what Rise did. And at the same time, it also doesn't, because you still need to do the bug hunt, or the burb hunt.
Oh no, I've got attention from the wrong sort of frog.
No. Here's a chonky frog. Let's climb up here, and I'll do what Insect Glaive does best. Ignore gravity. Oops.
Someone distract him, please. I can't load my gun.
Whee!
I am attempting to, but he just does not care about me. Oh, now he cares about me too much.
You're his
That
friend.
didn't go well.
So yeah, I'm trying out the Insect Glaive for this expansion. I'm enjoying it so far. It just feels like I'm going to pretend I didn't do that. It just feels like I should be doing more during fights rather than just get the 3 colors and then start helicoptering around the place.
This is why I did not play Insect Glaive. I was considering maining it, and then when I realized that all you did was play paintball, I was just like, no.
It is still fun though, so I'll give it that.
When you're not playing paintball.
Well, yeah, I'm playing paintball right now, and my bug doesn't want to. Where is my bug? Oh, Hellspace is the right button. Duh. Alright, so orange's tail. And I have to do this process with every monster, is what colour is where on the monster.
Yeah, you gotta find the Kinsect dust
Yes.
of the appropriate color
there
until
any-
you get all 3.
Is there any pattern to it, or do you just have to sort of flail about?
Generally,
usually-
tail, body, and or claws, and then head
Yes.
will all be the 3 colors. But this is not a consistent rule.
Yeah, some monsters will change that. Like, Kulu has 1 colour on his held item, which I think is on his claws, but it's very, very hard to hit the claws unless he's holding something. Alright.
He falled over.
He falled over! Whee!
So yeah, I'm just using a weapon I'm familiar with because I'm still trying to unmonster Hunter World myself.
Yeah. Also, this
Because
Tetranodon hits quite hard.
well, he is a master rank one.
It is.
We
Yes.
broke something. I'm not sure what we broke.
It's paralyzed. So I am trying out the heavy bowgun this time round, which is different to previously. And I actually really like the way that they've implemented it this time. It's the Silkbind switch skill thing. Well, I haven't used the Silkbind moves much, even though the game's basically obsessed with them. But the switch skill things have worked with it very, very, very well in that now there are sort of multiple different approaches to using it. So you've got a lot of, even though it's still a heavy bowgun, which is one of the most stodgy and inflexible weapons in the game, you still have a lot of options as to how you're going to engage. You've got a lot of like heavy hitting special abilities, a lot of them involving lying down prone to fight in a Monster Hunter game, which sounds like the stupidest idea ever.
It sounds like a good way to get dead, yes.
But I'm enjoying doing it because I just love slow, heavy hitting weapons generally. And it's got, I don't think it had this previously, but there is a mode that you can use it in where it works like the Greatsword, where you have a triple charge up for your shots.
I think it had something kind of like that, but not explicitly like that.
But that's one of the switch skill modes. The other mode that you can switch it to is one where you lie prone and then you do a whole bunch of shots.
Okay.
Like, anytime you see a huge haze of small numbers pop up, that's me lying down and gunning it down. It does have an overheat, though. So, the way I'm using it typically is when I get an opportunity, I'll just fire off all the shots until I overheat. And then I'll switch back to the charge mode. And then use that while it cools down. But that might not be the optimal way to use it. It's just the way that I'm using it right now.
Oh, we got him out.
Here comes Ludroth.
Bonk!
No, swap for the Ludroth.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's what we want.
Actually,
That's
let me
what we're
let me get that because I've got the gold wire bug. So this is another new mechanic. Is there's now 3 types of wire bugs you can use to mount. You've got your standard one, you've got a red one, and you've got a gold one. Red one increases the amount of damage, I believe, that you do with mounted attacks, and the gold one will increase the drops. So ideally, you're going to want to use the gold one whenever possible, unless of course time is an issue.
Well, this mostly involves learning where the heck to get all the stuff, and this poor turtle thing.
He's a kappa.
He's getting bullied, something vicious.
His face is all kinds of messed up.
You can also break the arms, right?
Yeah, you can break his arms, and I believe you can break his shell
And his belly.
and his belly.
Did we break his belly already?
It
Yeah,
looks like
looks
it.
like we have.
It's
Yeah, I think the shell needs impact damage to break, but I'm not sure on that one. Whee!
Bullet damage is its own type, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's piercing.
I think it. I don't know. I have no idea how it works in Rise.
Yeah, basically you've got your slashing and bludgeoning damage. But yeah, I think bullets and to a lesser extent arrows do kind of their own thing. You get his tummy.
I think we already got his tummy.
No, I need to get juice out of it.
Oh.
Zip.
So yeah, Fern, you've had a week.
I
Presumably.
have. I've kept on going with Face Attorney Chronicles, which I didn't look into as much as I probably should have before I bought it. Largely because games like the Ace Attorney series is you look any further than it does this exist, and the internet basically says, okay, you want to see all the spoilers, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've run into the same sort of issue with Monhan. Like, the day it came out, everybody was posting, like, their 50th Gore Magala kill.
Yeah, I wish they hadn't spoiled Gore Magala, honestly. That would have been such a really good thing just to come across naturally.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the information age and everything sucks.
You can't have nice things. So, yeah, I went through and I finished the campaign of Ace Attorney, and yeah, the story wraps up nicely, but it leaves a lot of empty questions. Like, what was the whole point of going to England in the first place, by and large?
What's the point of any of the crap that they do?
Yeah. What is the meaning behind this punny name? One of which I actually didn't realise was a pun until it was actually phonetically sounded out. Then I saw the pun.
I must ask, is there some rule that says that a Palico can only use a Trapid ability the second that a monster leaves an area?
Yes, it's because Palicos are stupid.
Well, I think that the timer might actually be set up like that. That the average engagement time is roughly equivalent to the time the AI will let elapse before it uses the trap. Because it happens every single time when I bring a trap Palico.
I can't say I paid too much attention to it in Rise.
Yeah. Oh, that was a large hostile crustacean there. Not what I wanted to look at.
Oh, that's a Ledrith. That's not a.
Who wants to turn?
Well,
Who wants to turn?
I don't even...
No, I'll drive this large hostile crustacean. Whee! Which can fly, as it turns out.
I see. I didn't know hermit crabs could fly.
This one can.
That poor turtle thing.
Crab. Behold my crabby powers. Yeah. Hermitor's kind of an ass.
He's a cool looking monster.
He is.
Isn't there a blue one as well?
Yeah, the Daimyo Hermitor. He's... Oh,
He's
Plum
gonna show up a bit
Plum
later, I
Daimyo.
presume.
Yeah.
Is Hermitor a he's the first monster for this X pack, right? He's not
Yes.
some patch that came out in the interim while we were gone.
Nope.
There was very little content actually released while we were gone. Most of it was just event quests and spins on the rampage and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
stuff nobody really wanted.
Which is actually one of the things I'm very happy about seeing so far, is there's been absolutely no mention of the rampage being an ongoing mechanic.
Well, they specifically said in the lead up to this that they considered the rampage to be a camera thing that's now done.
Yeah.
Which means everybody hated this crap, and we don't want to do it anymore because people are bitching at us.
Yeah, nobody likes
Hopefully.
Monster Hunter Tower Defense.
Not even tower defense, because
I mean-
the towers you set up didn't even really matter that much.
I still think that the mode does have potential, but they implemented it all wrong. They would need to really rethink it from the ground up.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. I got Water Blight. That's all I need. It's been a while since I've needed to use a weapon that I actually need to keep an eye on my stamina. Also, I can hear one of your cats going absolutely ham on a whistle. I have no idea what that's supposed to do.
Makes you more powerful, okay?
Those whistly things. So yeah, anyway, Ace Attorney Chronicles. So you do those first 5 cases, and after you've done that, it says, oh, nice little job. Here's another 5. Because as it turns out, when Chronicles was released in Japan, it was released as Adventures and something beginning with R. A title. So it was actually 2 games mashed together.
I wonder if that's why it took so long to localize.
Partly that, and partly just for reluctance on Capcom's part, I think.
I really don't understand Capcom. Like, they seem to be so schizophrenic in the way they handle everything.
Yeah.
I really, truly think Capcom just divides its teams. Like, and they let them isolate from each other.
Yeah.
Because they have teams that do just absolutely stupid crap sometimes, and then they have consistently good teams, like the Devil May Cry team and the Monster Hunter team. That even if they goof up, they're not. It's nothing serious. But then you get weird stuff like their localization team for the Ace Attorney games, and you get stuff like the Street Fighter team.
Hello,
that
fellow
just do
kids,
stuff
fighter.
that does. Yeah, that just does stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think I forgot to carve. Oh, it's just Tyrannodon.
Yeah, it's just Tyrannodon. His arm is ugly. Yeah. Instead of looking like some sort of weird turtle space marine this time, you look like you crawled out the bottom of a bog, so there's that. But, so yeah, I was actually very happy to find that, because, there's a lot of questions that don't get answered at the end of the first half, and the fact that it just goes straight into here's the second half, picking up.
So it's a straight up
immediately
sequel.
Yeah. You're basically at the end of the first part, your assistant Susato goes back to Japan because her father's sick. So the game picks up pretty much immediately from that point. Susato's back in Japan, and you play the first case there as Susato. And here's the pun that I didn't get initially because I didn't sound the name out. You are against Prosecutor Ouchie, who is
I see.
Prosecutor Payne's ancestor.
Oh.
There it
Horrifying.
is. There's the
Somebody
pun.
should be shot for that.
Yeah, he spends the whole case actually lamenting about the loss of his top knot and talking about this new hope, which is just basically a tiny little clump of hair he's got instead. It got a bit worried, actually. You beat him at the end, and it looks like for all the world he's going to commit seppuku right there and then. But he doesn't.
Well, then we wouldn't have a pain.
We wouldn't have a pain. Yeah, so that was that first case, and because it was released as a later game in Japan, it still goes through a lot of the tutorial-y bits, which isn't really necessary in this case, but it's still there. The second case, however, is a time jump where it goes back to the day after one of the cases in the first game, where the guy you literally just got off the hook there is immediately back in jail for another murder. And this one, I'm only a little way into it. I haven't actually got to the case yet. The victim is a guy called William Shamspeare, who is a Shakespeare fan. Go figure. Who is, as it turns out, in an incredibly disturbing manner, is not dead. Like, everyone's standing in the foreground and they're talking, and they see his corpse just slowly peel itself up and start posing. Then he quotes Shakespeare, asks for the next line, someone provides that, and he says, "Oh, thanks," and then just bonelessly collapses to the floor. It's really weird.
I'm not following anything you're trying to describe here. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, that's about what you expect. That said, now the first game played around a lot with now it's a three-dimensional game. They started to play with that a bit. The second half, they're playing with that a lot more. So you've got characters who are actually using three-dimensional movement and doing stuff actively in the background. You get the occasional character who gets uncomfortably close. That's Sholmes, by the way, who does that. He's if
you
anything,
mean
he's
like-
even stranger.
Invading the camera's personal space.
Yes, very much so. So yeah, I'm not sure where it's going. I'm not far enough into the second half just to see if they've added any new mechanics this time around. So that will probably be a next week thing, and that'll be likely when I've actually finished it. Hopefully, maybe. So, yeah. That's basically been my week, and the rest of it has been Monster Hunter time. I need Dango.
I'm just
Wobble.
switching in the next Palico to do the next Palico quest.
Yep, and make sure you've got antidotes too, because Roggies.
We're doing Roggies.
Yeah, we're doing
Double
Roggies.
Ruggy. Double Ruggy.
Double Roggy.
Do I
It's
have
the only way
this?
that Roggy can actually be threatening is if you fight two of them.
No.
I think that they've also. I got the impression, at least, that they've sort of improved on Izuchi's AI for Master Rank.
Yeah, it
Because-
seems to be fighting a lot more intelligently.
And I don't just mean the great Izuchi either. I mean the little Izuchis, because they really freaking swarm you. The moment that you focus too much on the big Izuchi, the little ones will just come and feast on you.
Yeah, like it was kind of the monster's gimmick where it was have its little friends join in its attacks and basically coordinate with them the whole thing. But it never really did that. They joined in on a
Yeah.
couple of its big attacks, but then after that they just kind of run away.
Yeah, this is not really them joining in on big attacks. This is them just like they're just always on top of you. They're always in the way.
They hunt as a pack. Which is, yeah, kind of what Great Jaggy was supposed to do as well, but Great Jaggy never pulled it off either.
Wasn't Great Jaggy like the intro of intro monsters?
Yes. He's
Like, he's
slightly more
just a-
advanced than Velociprey. Only slightly.
But they're basically just like generic dinosaur, right?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, hold on, I've got to refill my ammo.
Yeah, you're a gun now. So I'm having a lot of fun. There's been a few mechanics that I've noticed that they've changed without not counting the ones that they explicitly tell you about, like the extra functionality your dog has. Things like when you summon your dog to ride in combat, he will actually come to you now.
Yeah, if you've got changed elevation, it's still a little bit slow.
Yeah.
But in general terms, he will not just go and do his own thing while you're asking to ride.
Yep, and if he's too far away for you to immediately ride, he will just pop underground, pop up underneath you.
Yeah, he can just tunnel now.
Yeah.
Wait, did Ari start the quest?
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
well,
it's-
the quest.
He was on my screen and then he just sort of vanished.
Oh, I went to go pick up another quest that I missed out in
Oh, okay.
the another request.
Okay.
It's just, you sort of just blinked out of existence in front of me. It
Oh
must,
no, I
have,
just
must have been late.
Yeah.
There it is.
no. I was checking my interface to see all the exclamation points and clear them
Oh,
up,
I
so I
see.
opened the world map.
Yeah. Also, the quest start horn just lacks the gravity it has in previous games. Sounds like it's full of bees. I want that full-bodied blast that there originally used to be. That's a minor, teeny-weeny, itty-bitty nitpick.
We need more crashing into the middle of nowhere.
I think that might come later. So, other things they've done is your dog now has a bit more functionality than just a combat fighty thing. It can be used to hunt specific materials and actually mark them on your map, which is really nice.
I have not
Andy's
actually attempted to use this functionality as yet.
Yeah. You need to have found a sample of the material first. So if you're looking for an ore that you haven't found yet, you need to find one before you do. You can actually track it. But once you do that, it'll show you all the nodes that have the potential of dropping the material.
He
You
also has a doggy pouch now.
He has a doggy pouch, so if you overflow your hunter's pouch while gathering, doggy will carry it for you.
Which is fantastic.
Which is absolutely fantastic.
Especially considering you are sort of obliged to carry things like power charms and that.
Yeah.
Which I wish they would just solve that problem.
Make a slot or something we can just put them in.
Or just get rid of them.
Or get rid of them.
They're just passive power increases. It should be baked into the equipment.
Yeah. Where's White?
Whoops. I just Superman dove for no reason because I was trying to work out what I was doing.
Is White his butthole? I hope that's not the case.
Breaker's neck pouch.
Yeah.
So yeah, doggy's fun.
Doggy is fun. They've added new abilities to the cat as well, but you need to unlock those through very simple quests. Basically, it's like get the quest, use the cat, and you'll get the abilities after 3 quests.
There are quite a few of the quests like that.
Yeah, there's
like,
one per cat.
I just unlocked all of them, and it's like, oh, I would have to go figure out how to turn my cat back on first before I could do any of these.
Bring the cat. No!
Like,
Stupid Roggy.
Have not brought cat because not because I don't want to make progress on those quests. I just forgot how to turn the cat back on.
That's okay. It's not a bad idea that one of us has a dog.
You can either swap their positions with like L bumper or R bumper, or one of the bumpers. One of the bumpers swaps the positions, and you always get the top one with you if you're going from 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just go to the buddy statue thing and change what you've got available.
Yeah, you can change them there. No,
Do you have any idea how freaking hard it is to hit a insect glaive user with a healing bullet?
Yeah, it ain't happening. Actually, I do have a new ability, which is that. I can do flippity flop and heal. Also recalls my bug. I think that was maybe the original. So we've got a bunch of the new Silkbind abilities, which in a lot of cases just kind of fill a gap that the class previously needed.
I don't know. I'm not sold. I'm not sold on the idea that you should fill gaps.
Yeah, some gaps are there for a reason.
Yeah, like I haven't had a chance to try it out yet because I haven't gone through and like gone to the effort of unlocking all of the Silkbinds. But like, there's one that makes the greatsword a faster, weaker weapon.
Yep, actually, come over here, guys. There's yellow bugs.
And frankly, I'm not sure why such a thing should exist.
Yeah.
Because that's not what the point of the greatsword is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's not something that's pointless or without advantages, but I'm concerned about homogenization because it happens to so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I wanted to play a fast weapon, I have dual blades.
Yeah, that's kind of dual blades, insect glaive, longsword to an extent, sword and board. Like, you've got options. Whereas if you want the big, heavy, slow weapons, you've got things like gun lance, greatsword. Like, there's options for that as well. My bully this, Roggy.
Roggy.
By dropping a fat, gigantic ass on his head.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, that was weird.
You lost the thing.
Yeah, the timer ran out before I hit finisher. I might just heal, actually.
He's got to be close to dead.
Yeah, he's limping.
You guys really wailed on him.
Yeah, well, I dropped a giant turtle frog kappa on his head. That'll slow anyone down.
He is quite the fatty.
keep trying to retarget like its world so that I can change my targeting, but it doesn't work.
Damn it!
What did you do to that poor little Ruggy?
He leapt in the way. He got down Mr. President to the big Roggy.
Alright. So yeah, we got the option now to... Oh, is he dead?
The little Roggies are not done with us yet.
I'm gonna kill this
Okay, they
anyway.
appear to be having a bit of trouble.
Yeah. So yeah, if you see those yellow clouds of dust in the air, by the way, try and fight the monster on them because they're paralysis dusts. The purple ones are poison dusts.
So yeah,
So yeah,
that is Monster Hunt updates.
there's a lot of improvements to be made. I think there's going to be at least one more set of Silkbind abilities which we haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll get to those.
The dual blades still already have the most busted baseline ability that I don't need to do any of the Silkbind crap and just can save it for recovery options. Because they just let you do the buzzsaw and the midair buzzsaw without a slope.
Just whenever you want.
I forgot how busted this was.
Oh wait, I need to play the Song of His People.
Like,
Oh no!
oh no.
Oh no, he noticed. Now
Slice of crabs!
Slice of crab!
Damn it! I went prone, and the thing with going prone is that you can hardly move your whatchamacallit anymore. Your reticule. What? I'm being bullied by very small creatures.
Yeah, that's another new thing, is you've got crabs on the walls.
Yeah, there were things like that in World on a few of the maps.
Yeah,
But,
it was more the things like the Gadulakas.
Or the little... What are the little cone-shaped things that would, like, go pew-pew?
Yeah, those things. So they brought those back.
Yeah, they're kind of like these things, except they were just,
Go,
like,
damn it!
anthills on the
Breathing
wall.
poison on me.
Yeah, this one
I
spread
mean,
a lot more poison than the other one did.
I know that is kind of what he do.
Oh, he's paralyzed. Oh, and he's paralyzed right where the crabs can get him too.
He's
Oh, the
paralyzed.
crabs are going to town on
Look
him.
at them go!
It looks like our crabs ran out of juice. They're not glowing anymore.
Yeah, the crabs are pooped. I think they died.
No, they're still huffing and puffing up there. I think they're just out of juice.
No.
Yeah, they're huffing and puffing. They ain't dead yet.
Okay, good.
We didn't kill our crab buddies. They're just tired.
Alright. And yeah, basically Monster Hunter's been the big thing this week.
Yep. That's
Yeah. Well, what you been doing?
Well, nothing much really. Monster Hunter has been the big thing this week.
Yes, it has.
I haven't spent a great deal of time playing it because I haven't had a great deal of time. Lots of people at work were ill this week because the flu's going around and everybody's getting it, and so parents with kids are also having to stay home and take care of them and that sort of thing. So it's just been quite busy. I haven't had a lot of free time, but yeah, I just don't have a great deal to report because all the anime has pretty much ended for the season, and FGO is in the countdown to the 5th anniversary event, which means that there's basically nothing happening there either. GSSR will be coming up this coming week probably, along with the Castoria banner. So it's going to be a day of somewhat significance, a season of somewhat significance to a lot of people because the meta's going to change. But that's pretty much gone.
Castoria is worth logging in for and trying to pull with the quartz I got, even if
even if you've only got a trivial amount, because the meta changes so much as a result of her. She's too powerful. It's the short version of it. The game distorts around her. It's sort of like rolling for Summer Saren in Pinecone. You just should, because it changes the way the game is played.
it gives you too many options and for team building later.
Yeah, like Castoria enables looping on heaps and heaps of art servants. Like most art servants will gain the ability to loop when assisted with Castoria.
Is she like Scotty, where you only need one copy? Her NP level doesn't really matter.
That seems to be the case, but because she's so powerful, while she's ridiculously powerful with one copy, she just gets more powerful the more copies you get, because she gives a huge attack buff with her NP.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, I better check that, make sure I'm not wrong. But she is too powerful because every aspect of her kit is completely bonkers. To give you if I can get my sodding browser to behave, I will give you a rundown of her abilities, and you will see what I mean. I like how the wiki has all of the nicknames for characters as redirects.
Yeah. Someone spent a lot of time doing that.
So her internals are good. Her base skills are, the first skill is a charisma with a 20% attack for 3 turns, but it's also a 30% charge for the entire party's NP gauge. 30% for everybody.
Oh, and then she has 20% for a single dude, plus NP gain up.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then the third one is a humongous arts buff, plus invincibility for that ally. Now the Noble Phantasm, it's a 30% up to 50% attack boost with additional NP ranks. So basically that means additional NP ranks are very useful. They're just not mandatory. But like if you get 2 of her, that's, like everybody having a mild charisma buff at the time that you use your NP. So yeah. The real game breaker though is the anti-purge defense stacks, because you get her percentage charge high enough and you've basically got multiple turns of invincibility on your party, and you can't pierce it. So like it's unpierceable invincibility.
Oh, it's the super invuln.
This is the debut of the super invuln, which is basically what makes her game breaking, because her defensive game is basically perfect, and her attack buffing is incredibly powerful. So yeah, she does. It's not like she's not without weaknesses, but the other support servants can cover those. Like her big weakness is that she can't Merlin. Like she can't just keep a team healed up forever. If you have a way of consistently keeping her percentage overcharge really high, then she won't need it because everybody will be immortal. But most situations you're not going to be able to do that consistently, and so you do need a source of healing for a really long fight. But fights involving Castoria plus X tend not to last all that long.
Dying.
I'm dying. I'm very dying. I just need a drink. Yeah. So, she's one of those characters who impacts the game too much not to get her. Like she's a New Year's Carol or a Summer Saren, in that your teams will be different because she exists.
It seems like every game like that hits the point sooner or later where a character is introduced that just completely destroys the meta.
Well,
it's almost necessary in a way, because if a character was not desirable, nobody would bother.
Exactly. So every now and again, you need to shake up the meta so people will keep buying characters.
This is the sort of the issue with the design as a whole, in that it is not laudable to avoid power creep because things don't rotate out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't take away something that people have spent money on. That's literally illegal in a lot of places. So, yeah, it's a tragedy of getting hooked into the gacha gaming model, is that this is essentially unavoidable.
Yeah.
There's not really a way to deal with it. But baby steps would be better than Castoria, because Castoria is still 2 years on the premier support in FGO Japan. That's just the way it is. And one of the biggest advantages to this meta shift, though, is that the double Castoria is not necessary because Castoria is so powerful. Double Castoria does work, and it does allow you to do incredible bullshit. But Castoria pairs quite happily with, say, Tamamo, because Tamamo can heal and reduce cooldown of abilities. In fact, that particular pairing is insane once it spins its engine up, because you'll just be churning out a ridiculous number of Noble Phantasms.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Tammy get buffs soon, too?
She's had so many buffs, I don't know if... People think of her as weak, but it's only because she's specific to a team type where the other ones aren't. Like, you can run... Well, Skadi is specific to a particular team. Skadi is the most over-specific of them by a significant margin. But I don't think Tamamo has any more buffs incoming that I can think of offhand, because she's received most of them already. And because Castoria comes out, Castoria is a de facto buff to Tamamo, because it gives Tamamo a art specialist to pair with who benefits to an absolutely absurd degree from Tamamo's ability.
Oh, so she's like the Dante's to Castoria's Skadi.
Dante's is pretty mediocre on his own, but give him the double Skadi engine and suddenly he's a monster. Tamamo is not quite to that extent, but you know what Castoria is missing is that HP support, and Tamamo can supply that with her Noble Phantasm. Plus, you know, Tamamo's Noble Phantasm charges everybody's Noble Phantasm when it's done, and it reduces the cooldown time of any skills running by 1, enabling Castoria's batteries to come out more often. So in a slightly more long form fight, Tamamo paired with Castoria is disgusting, basically. It's not like Castoria's skills have a ridiculously long cooldown. Like at max skill, which I mean everybody's going to have max skill, her group MP is a 6-turn cooldown, and her targeted MP is a 5-turn cooldown. And with everybody spinning up massive amount of arts boost and that for multiple turns, plus Tamamo has a really powerful arts buff for multiple turns, plus her NP charges NP, it's just going to be Noble Phantasm, Noble Phantasm, Noble Phantasm. You'll be building up tons and tons of stacks of your invincibility. Basically, the biggest problem that Castoria introduces to the game is not her power, it's what her power does to encounter design. Because now the devs have to design around the fact that a significant portion of the player base have access to double Castoria, and for practical purposes, all of the player base have access to support Castorias from friends. So, yeah, it means that they've got to do annoying crap a lot of the time in order to make fights make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's coming up. I've got something like 1,100 quartz ready for this banner.
So you're just going to go full ham on it?
Yeah, I'm going to go full ham on it. I don't know how I will feel if I get her in the first 10 pull, having spent so long and passed up on so many banners in order to build up my reservoir.
Salty.
I will be somewhat salty, but it will leave me very free to roll on other things that I want later. Not that there's a lot of those. Like over the course of the next year or so, there's not that many servants I want to roll on, but it will give me more opportunities to roll for love, as they say, because Castoria is the power choice. She's not really a character that I'm that interested in, although I've heard that once the Avalon Le Fay chapter comes out, a lot of people fall for her character when you spent a lot of time with her, because she's one of the major characters in that chapter. Most people don't really have any particular feeling about her right now, because she hasn't appeared in the story. I don't know if they must have wanted like a revenue injection or something, bringing her out so early in Japan, but yeah. So there's not a lot of must-haves after Castoria. She's the one that really distorts the game around her and maintains that position long into the future, which basically means that there are no must-roll servants after Castoria. Everything becomes a matter of taste at that point, which is so it's a very double-edged sword in a sense, because while I resent the fact that Castoria is going to mutilate the meta and mutilate encounter design or to build around her, the reality is that she ends the era, at least for a couple of years, of you don't really have a choice, you have to roll for this.
Yep. So after that, you're basically free to roll on whatever you want for a while.
Yeah, like there are a couple of very strongly indicated servants that you should seriously consider, but they aren't ones that change the way the game is designed and sort of require you to know how to use them and have access to them. Like, who's a good example? Himiko enables a few incredibly powerful and somewhat disgusting teams, but she's not mandatory. She's just, I happen to like this playstyle, and Himiko's a center of a new team in that playstyle, so I'll roll for Himiko type of decision. Masamune's sort of like that as well, or Muramasa, I should say, is sort of like that, in that he enables a lot of extraordinarily powerful farming teams, and you know, he's a Shiro face, and there are apparently some people who are into that. Why? Believe it or not, I don't know. And then there's other ones like Karen is one a lot of people roll for her. If I have a lot of courts lying around, I'll roll for Karen as well, because I like her character. She's just not great. She's very usable, but not great. And she's the sort of one that people will want but would pass up on if there was an upcoming critical banner to roll for. And that's just not an issue anymore. And there are a lot of servants like that as well, like the crane. I can't remember what her name is, from the helpful crane myth. I don't remember her.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, I can't remember her name though. But yeah, she's another one that a lot of people like but would pass up on if there were a meta servant. The next one that's sort of regarded as meta after Muramasa that comes out, I think, is probably Summer Kiara, who people consider quite meta. And then we're talking sort of like almost halfway through. Oh no, Summer Kiara's this year, isn't she? I think this summer, late this summer. That'll be one that will be in the post-Castoria world that people decide to roll on. But the real sort of roll frenzy won't happen until sort of the middle of next year. So this will be the last big roll frenzy until probably the next one will be a Saber Wars rerun in January, and then the next one will be halfway through 2023. And that will be when everybody goes absolutely ham trying to get Morgan. Because apparently she's really popular. She's powerful, but she doesn't strike me as being significantly more powerful than Raiko. She seems to be about the same based on my observations of her. But the way player use has gone, either people are overcome with lust for her, and that's the reason they use her. Though, considering her competition is Raiko, it's probably a matter of taste. But
yeah, does she have Raiko's advantages?
No, she does not. She's a saber face, because you know she's a half sister to Artoria. But yeah, I don't know what makes her so popular. Maybe it's a story thing, because everybody will be playing Avalon Le Fay at that point. And then so I don't really have any strong intention to roll for her because I won't use a Buster Zerker, AoE Buster Zerker that isn't called Kiahime. So I'm going to ignore her banner, except for, well, I kind of want Fae Knight Tristan, because she's basically slightly older Liz, and I need to add to my collection of Liz faces.
Yes.
But the one that I'm waiting for is Melusine, who is absolutely adorable. So I'm going to roll for Melusine. It turns out later on, once the people establish the teams for her, she turned out to be an incredibly powerful servant who, despite being a lancer, can still a 3-turn farming stage is comprised of sabers when used correctly, because she can just spin her numbers up so high. And she's also, I think, still the only servant in the game who outright changes her NP depending on which ascension phase she's at. She's got a single target one and an AoE one, and both of them are useful in different contexts. But yeah. And then after that, the next time people will be rolling is there are people who are rolling for Summer Karma. So Summer Karma is sort of, she is to Space Ishtar what Raiko is to Morgan, in that they are similar with a similar level of power, and it's mostly whether or not you're a lolicon. Which one you choose to use. And so there aren't that many must rolls, and the ones that are must rolls are sort of like low key must rolls.
All right.
So yeah, this is what everything turns on. Is like, will it be feast or famine for how much of the player base? And then over the next year, it's more or less roll for who you like, because nothing's going to turn the game into something different.
Yeah.
Well, at least Summer Kama in her final ascension is the opposite of Lolly anything.
It's true, that is how Kama do. But yeah, people use her for her 3-turn farming ability generally. But from what I can tell, looking at her kit, she's just competitive with Space Ishtar. She's not better than or worse than. So if you had absolutely terrible luck with Space Ishtar banners, which a lot of people will, I've got one copy of her. I'm going to shoot for a second copy because she gets a lot better the more copies you get of her. Due to...
Do not show that picture. I'll link you on stream.
Due to... what?
What did you link me?
That's the last...
Yeah, that's not safe for work.
The last ascension of Summer Kama.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is Kama. That's sort of her job. Like, literally her job, mythologically.
Is to be naked?
Well, she's Mara.
Yes.
Like, that's her role in the FGO story, is that Kama and Mara are the same individual.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's the god of love. Not the goddess, she's the god of love.
Yep.
And she's also should have known again.
Yeah, it really doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination, that picture.
No, it does not. That's who she be. But yeah, because she's an Avenger, much like Space Ishtar, she's able to perform that farming role. But yeah, I'll probably build up Space Ishtar since I've got one copy of her already, and whether or not I go for Kama will depend on whether I've got some specific role I need her to fulfill.
Mm-hmm. Also, we should go smack something.
Yeah, I'm focused on keeping my lungs intact right now while talking, which is requiring me to devote quite a bit of effort to keeping them still.
Keep them on
because
the inside.
They want to spasm wildly, and I cannot stop them.
I've readied up so I can't come to the ground. I'm just going to stay here. Gravity is for chumps.
Yeah, we've just been making silly poses while you've been running around in the backfall.
Yeah, there's some of the cutesy poses which are downright horrifying with this costume.
It really is the wrong costume for being cute in.
Yes it is.
But yeah, so yeah, FGO is in a lull. Pinecone is in a lull with the end of the summer rerun. I presume the new one, Maho's one's going to start soon. but I don't know
think
when.
it starts sometime next week.
I'm at the phase of the clan battles where I'm deeply, deeply frustrated because I can't contribute more than 2% again. So
Yeah.
once it bumps up to a level 100, I'm basically at the point where the boss will just kill all my dudes again.
Me and Ibu are just like, we're not punching that turtle.
But you got
Who's killing the turtle for you then? Because it sure isn't me.
Everybody else.
Everybody expends all of their power on the turtle, and then you decide to
'cause-
swoop in afterwards.
Well, here's the problem with the turtle. The turtle has a phase where it goes into its shell and stockpiles damage and returns it. The problem is, if you have any amount of DPS that hits really hard, that can just auto-crit without any UBs or anything, you're gonna wipe your own team.
So you never put Moemi on your team then?
Never, ever put anything that does a substantial amount of damage, just baseline, on the turtle fight.
So just use like Kyoka teams then, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
something.
all of her damage is loaded into that UB, and she basically does nothing the rest of the time.
Yeah, just find a way to put a team together that'll, well, Kyoka, with her unique equipment, crits like a mother trucker.
Oh, well,
And,
I can't really see that in context. So
Yeah, her unique equipment, like, quadruples the damage on her crits. It's insane. It makes Kyoka totally cracked. So, and that's just her normal crits. They get that, so can't use her either. But, yeah, it's team building a way that doesn't get us insta-killed on the turtle with the damage we have on our characters is difficult. So we have reached the strat of we will kill literally everything else and let everybody else kill the turtle.
yeah, I'm just still doing a trivial amount. I've honestly not even trying to come up with good teams because it's impossible to tell. I have to invest so much of my team building and staying alive that I do almost no damage.
So yeah, we the turtle is quite scary. This CB.
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't really understand how I can build any teams of note because I just don't have the everything is designed for use with max level characters, so I can't really tell whether anything is working the way it's supposed to because my outputs are so far below. Like, if I look at somebody else's team to see what they use and the numbers they get out, I can't relate that because
We don't run tanks.
it doesn't scale linearly.
Yeah, we don't have to run tanks. Cause
Well, I do have to run a tank because it's the only way I'm going to live.
so our team builds are going to be quite different. I mean, we have to run tanks now. In this lap, we definitely have to run tanks, but oh good, the turtle's dead.
Yeah, like in the first lap, I did like 800,000 damage to with an attempt on the lion boss. But in the lap we're on currently, I'm lucky if I can scratch 200,000 because he just wrecks all my dudes.
Yeah,
So-
like the lion's up right now, and I'm configuring a team to go bop lion, and thankfully my first team's a spellcaster team, so it's going to be pretty auto. But I'm just going to have to hope that Yukari can kind of keep him alive.
But my obsession.
Mez.
You've got to use Zeriko.
Oh, that she'll come next, but I need a bit more focus to use an Eriko team. With the magic team, all I gotta do is just push the Ikari button before the Summer Carol and the Kyoka button.
Anyway, I don't really have much else to talk about. I'm going to be focusing the bulk of my obsessions on Sunbreak for the time being, but there's still a lot in the offing for FF14 coming up. There was a new Producers Letter Live, well, part 1 of 2, where they talked about the stuff that's going to be coming in 6.2, although I didn't check to see if they had talked about the timeline for 6.2, because, I haven't done a fraction of the stuff in 6.1 yet. I've only done the easy stuff.
They put in so much stuff.
Yeah, there's too much to do unless you're Aristeel and you basically spend every waking moment trying to get caught up on things. There's just too much to do.
I mean, this stuff takes too long to realistically make any kind of significant progress without just raw time.
Which
Because
makes
you'll
me
kill yourself.
wonder, why is there so many people who are like, there's nothing to do? FF14 sucks because there's not enough content.
You would have to no life the game to death because you got.
Because you would have to
five-
have no life the game throughout the game's entire existence.
Yeah.
like. Yeah, the Baja stuff and the Eureka stuff has taken a good bit of time from me right now, but there's still all the other stuff that I'm not doing because I'm doing that stuff instead.
Yeah, we might talk about the PLL in the news section. I did post it in our chat for the show topics. But I was seeing a lot of people before the PLL started saying that, oh man, I hope they don't do something like Bosnia again. I really hope it's like Eureka again this time.
No. Please
It's like,
no.
what are you guys smoking? Did you just find that in the gutter somewhere?
Just please no. Oh goodness no.
Yeah, there seems to just be a cadre of people who really hated Bosnia and longed for more Eureka. Which I imagined didn't exist because I thought Bosnia was so much better. But apparently, I'm not even in the majority there. Opinion seems to be really sharply divided on that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, so we might talk about that a bit later.
All right. Shall we move on, or shall we take a break?
I actually desperately need the bathroom.
Okay, well, let's do a break.
All right, here's some music, and we will be right back. And Cat is dead. And we're back.
Yes, we are. So that was...
I forgot that Clan Battle doesn't end at reset time. I was like, oh crap, I gotta do my attempts for the day before it runs out.
Oh, I see.
Oh, right, yeah, it cuts off short on the last day, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I was like, oh no, I haven't done my Clan Battle attempts and I got like 2 hours left.
Yeah, I always end up putting it off as well.
Yeah.
Because you want that stamina income for logging on later in the day so you don't have to waste money on refreshes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
I
still
like to do all
refreshed.
mine at once. Yeah.
I don't plan to start. I need those jewels. How much do I have? Probably, I think I've got like 70 or 80,000 now, so I'm almost built up to 2 more sparks.
Yep.
there we go. I just had to change my Kinsect.
I don't know what we're fighting. We were posing and doing dumb crap so much.
Yeah, I've forgotten entirely what we're going after. Acnosom. Okay.
Alright, yeah, I've already fought an Acnosom. He's
Yeah.
still a goof and not very threatening at all.
Yeah, we
He
haven't
just
seen...
looked, he just looked like the funniest thing on the list of sticky quests that I need to do.
Yeah. Haven't seen any new monsters yet, unfortunately. The only new one, really, and doesn't really count, is Blood Orange Bishiten. Though I will say, at least this with Blood Orange Bishiten, its armor set really shows the Tengu inspiration a lot
You
more
get a
than
huge
anything else
nose?
before. What's that?
You get a huge nose.
You don't get a nose. You get a big beak. You get an arse. 'Cause that's what most people think when they hear Tengu, is they immediately think of the nose.
It's the nose and the sandals.
It's the nose and the sandals, and maybe the wings. But they've stuck with the wings and the more bird-like things of it. And I guess the mischievous nature?
Well, whether or not they have a mischievous nature tends to vary with the legend. Sometimes they're
Yes.
just assholes.
Yeah, sometimes they're just absolute dicks. Alright, so let us beat up a possessed umbrella bird.
Right.
I fell in
So
the water.
so we can keep the everything rolling. Vol, did you have anything else in your week?
No, not really. It just wasn't really much of a week. I felt like there were some things that I skipped over talking about last week that I was going to talk about. But well, I suppose in that vein, I got the new office chair that I bought for playing PC games, since my recliner, while comfortable, is not really suitable for playing at my PC for an extended period of time. And the only thing I can say about it is that it's an office chair, really, and that the gas lift is dodgy, because it doesn't actually seem possible to get a gas lift that's not dodgy in a chair.
It's really not.
I'm a little bit frustrated by that, but not really surprised.
Yeah.
Seems to just be one of those things you've got to deal with one way or another. But yeah, it'll do the trick. It's not going to do it in any particularly impressive way, but it'll do the trick. It's a mesh one, which I thought I'd try as an sort of experiment. But yeah, it's not. I don't feel like it makes a significant difference in winter. Maybe it'll be more significant in summer once it gets warm for our 2 weeks of warmth, because we're the opposite to Fern.
Yeah, I get 2 weeks of cool.
But yeah, it'll do the trick. It's been comfortable enough to sit on for the duration of the time that I've spent using it. It does have a few little foibles other than the dodgy gas lift. Like the structure of the seat is such that it has a sort of a small strip of like foam padding around the lip of the seat, which I understand why it's there, because one of the biggest complaints that you regularly see about mesh chairs is that about office chairs in general, is that the lip part of the seat is an awkward enough shape that it cuts off circulation on people's thighs. And the strip of foam is designed to avoid that circumstance. But I feel like it just makes the support pattern of the seat of the chair feel kind of weird. But yeah, it's all much of a muchness really. So it's what I expected. I don't know that based on this experience that I'd buy another mesh one next time, because I think there will be a next time that I buy a chair, because I don't get the feeling that it's going to last more than a couple of years, because it's got strong Chinese slave factory vibes. As a lot of such things do, but yeah, it'll do the trick. I'm not particularly impressed, and I'm not particularly disappointed. It's just a chair.
It just exists.
It's
Yeah.
one standard unit chair.
Yeah.
Also, I totally screwed that right up because I had my my dance going and kept grabbing onto him.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I don't have much else to talk about. I feel like, well, I do have something else to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. I just can remember that there was something. So we'll just leave it there.
Right. Let's see. I guess we'll jump into my week then, because there ain't a whole lot to it. As has been the pattern, I've been spending about 3 weeks in Final Fantasy, going back and doing the old artifact weapon grinds for Stormblood and now Shadowbangers. And that's just kind of been going. It's a very slow going process with the Shadowbangers one, because the second to last step is a one-time grind. You only got to do it once, but oh boy, is it a grind!
Yeah.
You have to do 30. No, wait. What is it? Hang on. Let me make sure I got the numbers right. One option is to do 60 Alexander raids, 60 Omega raids, and 60 Eden raids. That's the I really hate myself way of doing it.
Yes.
Or you can do 30 fates in the first third, the second third, and the third of the second big map for Baja, and then do 15 critical engagements in each. Or you can do a mix and match in both, which is the only way to keep your sanity. And so we've been working on this for a long time now, at least 10 days. And we just finished today, and it's pretty much all we've done in Final Fantasy. There's been nothing else that me and Ibu has done except this grind and leveling and frontline roulette for the EXP every day. And that's it.
That is still a huge grind.
Yeah, you will get quite a few ranks of the bonus medal turn-ins for the bonus stats in Baja doing this. So we have quite a few ranks of damage, bonus health, and a little bit of bonus healing as well. And you want the damage because the fate part of it in the third zone in particular is really, really easy and fast if you can do enough damage to even get gold on the fates because they die so fast.
Yeesh.
Because the way the second zone in Baja works is there is always a group going LF more Z3 Zadnor, which is zone 3 of Zadnor, so the top part of the map. And these guys just have got the fate spawns down to a science, and you just follow the train. The problem is, if you don't have bonus damage and all the damage up passives you can take, you're going to get stuck, not able to get gold fates following this train around most of the time. But you do get a ton of metal for it, and even with missing gold half the time, it's still really fast to get those done. Like, not even in 2 hours and you're done. Because that part of it's really fast. The rest of it, not so much. That's a slog. And you just gotta grind it out. And the best way to do it is just to not think about it.
Just switch off the brain?
Yeah, just do something else while you're doing it. So we just finished this grind, and oh boy, was it a super slog that took a week and a half to 2 weeks to finish.
Eesh.
So, yeah, that's finally over. And now we can move on to the last step, which is just either run Heaven on High and get 15 drops, or do 4 runs of the Lacus Littoria equivalent. So yeah, that's literally all that has taken up Final Fantasy, because the way I've been approaching the old content in Final Fantasy, when it's just me playing or me and Ebu playing, is just to pick a project, because there's so many of them you can do in Final Fantasy, and just glue to it.
There is absolutely no shortage of content.
Yeah, you can pick a project and just glue yourself to it. I don't know what the heck I'm doing over here. I went chasing off something shiny and wound up like way off in the middle of nowhere.
Where'd you find that baggie?
He was just still there.
No. Well, not want to leave a good baggie laying around, I suppose.
So yeah, all these people that are like, oh, I've done all the how.
Yeah, the fact that no content has become redundant means there is literally always something to do.
Like, there's literally too much to do. Well, maybe these people have been playing nonstop since launch. No, these people haven't. These people are just whiners.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it. But there's so many projects you can take up. You can go get Triple Triad cards. You can go get decorations for your house. You can go learn the palettes of the Dead in Heaven on High. You can go get your Baja and Eureka stuff done. And that's just the stuff off the top of my head that takes weeks to do.
Yeah, just pick an artifact weapon and go for that.
Yeah, this is stuff that takes weeks, plural, to do. How do you have the time to do all of this?
They don't have jobs.
I mean, we weren't putting an insignificant amount of time into the Baja part either. Like, we're dumping about at least 2 hours a night into this. This is a lot of stuff to do. We broke one wing.
Up and down.
So, I have no sympathy for anybody that's complaining about they've run out of stuff to do in Final Fantasy. Because I would have to try to run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, you really have to. It would take a lot. Like, even if you just pick a couple of quest chains and go down some of them. Like, Hildebrand alone will take you a day. Maybe a couple of days, depending on how heavily you go at it.
Yeah, but and the Savage content onwards is gonna, if you're keeping up with all that, it's gonna eat at least a week of your time per raid tier. That's if you're really MLG good.
Yeah. So that's, I think, one of the big advantages that Final Fantasy has over a lot of other MMOs is they just no content ever becomes irrelevant.
Well, it's especially that way for us because we haven't been playing since launch.
Yeah.
I mean, we not consistently anyway.
Not consistently.
Yeah, I usually played for a few patches at a time.
Mm-hmm. This is probably the longest I've been subscribed for it in one hit.
Yeah. So we've got this huge backlog of stuff to do that just doesn't ever seem to end. Like
I don't see how it will either, because like as we were talking about in the news segment, the 6.2 is going to bring the new Relic Weapon series.
Yeah, which is going to be another huge grind, which is going to take several patches to even be completable.
Yeah, and we won't have the post-expansion or end-of-expansion buffs to it either.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it hard.
Yeah, I don't have either of you guys actually done a grind when it is in its current stage?
No, because
yeah, I did old school Relic.
Yeah, I think I started old school Relic when it was relevant and just did not get as far on it as I probably should have.
This damn bird!
Chicken! Ow. Yeah, I think this Acnosom's just about done.
he should be. I mean, we've been beating on him for goodness knows how long.
I'm here to tell you I haven't been contributing all that much.
He's got the blue tired indicator, so I assume he's almost dead.
Yeah, that means he's trappable, so he's just about done.
I don't know what the trap percentage is in this game, so...
It's pretty low.
It's 20. I think. Or is it 30? It's slightly before blue.
How much more does he have to break?
I think that was the last piece.
we have a
Did
rabbit.
you break? Yeah, I'm
Oh,
pretty
the
sure
Gombi's
everything-
back? Where'd you put the trap? Oh, there it is. There we go.
Is he dead or is he captured?
He's
Captured.
captured. I just put down a trap and shot him with the train camo. I'm sick of this
Oh,
bastard
right. Track
hopping over my wyvern snipe every time. It's like,
It's
lol, I'm just going to choose to jump right now after I've presented you with a perfect target.
All right.
So yeah, that's Final Fantasy. This week for work was Tuesday and Wednesday were a nightmare, and Thursday I was super duper sick. So y'all can expect to get super sick. Had
Oh,
a
great.
monster
Man, I'm already dying.
had a monster fever on Thursday that broke that evening, thankfully, and was quickly on the mend by Friday and pretty much gone by today.
So you
But
got
oh,
the same flu
so-
that everybody's getting.
yeah. Oh boy, on Thursday that I think I was dying. I was angry at everybody.
Yeah. Being sick will do that.
Up there's telling me about an orangey boy.
Orangey boy.
Yep,
Oh, dear.
Jeremiah Gottwald.
Uh,
That was
Wait.
a Code Geass reference.
that was. Why is everything on fire?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
So, oh, it is the failed to create quest. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, other than that, I've just been on the Baja grind. There's not a whole lot to report on it. It's a very consistent and slow grind.
Yeah. The fact that it's
And
all
just,
old content too means it's
Tell you what, you learn the mechanics of quite a few critical engagements in Baja and quite a few Omega raids, because those are the hardest tokens to get, because those are the Zone 2 tokens in Baja, and nobody is running Zone 2 stuff and killing stuff there to spawn the critical engagements. So you have to do a bunch of Omega raids at the end to fill out your collection. And we learned our larboard and starboard.
Oh.
The people we partied with never did. That was a thing they did not do.
So
But
what is the general quality of the people who reach that end point in the quest line anyway?
so at that point, everybody that's at that point is able to coast through every critical engagement. But you're not queuing with those people. You going in with everybody in the zone.
Oh no.
I don't think I've ever seen a group successfully do Red Shocktober.
Okay, Red Shocktober is here's how you do it. You take Reflect and you spam it, and you go through an entire stack of Reflect in that fight. And even if you think you're safe and not going to get hit by the mechanic, press the Reflect button. And that's how you survive Red Shocktober. You will still get all the vulnerability stacks, every one of them,
Good old stack collecting.
Yep.
but you will not take any damage. In fact, you will reflect more damage onto the Chocobo.
Oh dear.
And that is the only way I've found to survive Red Shocktober. And there are some attacks you cannot reflect, like the Chocobo Stampede.
Chicken run.
But you can reflect the meteors and the proximity markers, which is funny.
All right, here we go. First brand new monster for Sunbreak, which is Blood Orange Bishaton. And he bullies a bunch of other Bishaton because he's a bully.
Why do the oranges explode?
That was a pomegranate, thank you.
It wasn't the pomegranate. It was the Bombadgy.
Yeah, but Bomb Badgies do explode. Incidentally, I think one of the new Silkbine's ability for Hunting Horn allows you to summon Bomb Badgies. I'm going to need to try that.
Pine cones!
I'm gonna have to stay awake for this one. I won't be so safe at range.
Yeah. Like, he has some serious accuracy with those pine cones.
Yeah, almost preternatural.
Yeah.
He
Also,
is
he's a Tengu, therefore an asshole.
He is laughing his butt off while he bullies his buddies.
Oh yeah.
Forgot to restock ammo. I need to go back to the tent.
So I'm going to take 2 of those rations because I'm probably going to need them. Alright. When I fought him, he stayed between sectors 2 and 3. Sorry, 3 and
Really?
4, but...
I fought him almost entirely in 9 and 11.
Okay, and now he's in the middle. Which means he's a troll and he's just out to annoy us.
What's this Palico?
He's just a pelican. Well, he's a wild feline. You can beat him up.
Why would you do such a thing?
I apparently can't beat him up.
No, I can beat him up.
No, I just can't
Why
hit
would
him.
you do such a
Because
thing?
my attacks are so swingy.
Small monster list updated.
Yes. What, you've never beaten up a feline?
I guess not.
Well, I've gotten a fresh one of those for everything that I've nobbled on in Master Rank, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's I've forgotten so many of the little unique things about Rise. Going through this game, like, oh right, that's a thing. I think I remember.
Yeah. Wild felines don't do a whole lot. It's the wild Malinks you've got to watch out for, which is the black cats. Because they will nick your stuff, and then you have to go and retrieve it before the mission's over. Because they're just jerkholes. I'm going to go this way.
I remember mowing the grass up here, but for some reason, every time.
Yeah, because you get the burbs out of it.
Yeah, probably worth getting burbs for fighting this guy since he's a cut above what we've been fighting so far.
Yeah. I haven't fought anything beyond him, so I'm not sure how he stacks up.
Yeah, nor have I.
Hey, a Pookie. Hello, Pookie. I'm going to leave you alone.
Pookie was a big help to me when I fought this guy.
Pookie's a bro. I'm not going to do bad on me, bro.
I hope we get Tsuyaku back. Like, there's never been a more bro monster than Tsuyaku.
There really hasn't. He will come in, he will flash the enemy, and then he just pieces out. He is the true swag lord.
Miss my doggo.
Yeah, I probably
You
could
don't
move
go
faster,
for it.
but never mind. Also, there's Bombadji. You know what that means?
You can pick it up and take it to the dude.
Smack.
Found a Kulu.
Oh, okay. Apparently, smacking them with a paralysis weapon doesn't work because they just stay paralyzed in one spot. You failed me, Bombadji.
Oh, there's a spinny boy.
Whoop.
Is a Supermando for no reason. So I guess all the bugs on like the walls and stuff are to give you an option other than the triple bonk.
Yeah, you can bonk them into the bugs, and some of them will just do damage. I think the yellow ones will knock it down and paralyze.
Because yeah, it's like I don't know how to describe it.
Environmental type dealies.
Well, it's if you didn't have a nearby other monster to bonk into, to trade into, to do their combo on the monster you're actually fighting, you were kind of just relegated to the triple bonk unless you were near that like one lava patch in the lava map.
Yeah. So this gives you something to bonk them into if you really want to.
Can you knock his tail off, or can you just
You can
break
break
it?
the
You can
tail.
break it. You can't knock it off.
It makes him a little bit more unstable, although I was totally unable to exploit that at any point.
Oh, that sucked. Uh-oh. Healing honks, cat. Thank you. So, yeah. He's definitely a step up above everything else in terms of just aggression. Because regular Bishaton's... He's not hard. He's fairly easy. He's fairly easy going. He's happy to throw fruit at you, and then that'll be it. That's his lot.
Yeah, we'll see how bad he gets when he enrages, but so far he's been kind of locked and only doing one move.
Yeah.
No, there he goes. Now he's angry.
Ow! Incidentally, if you do this quest, Soul. Oh no, we're not. She's actually here. You get if you've got an empty slot, Florane joins you. And
No, you don't need an empty slot. I think she just always joins you.
Yeah. Doing this quest also unlocks the new feature, which is followers. There's certain quests you can take NPCs out on.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
Yeah, she's just around. Run, Fluffy. Come, Bug.
So yeah, I don't have anything else in my week when we get to it. What did he do to that poor Pookie?
He just bitch slapped Pookie.
Come, Pookie.
Go and get
We
him,
will
Pookie.
get revenge. Let us take revenge. No, Pookie. Wrong way, Pookie.
Where you going, Pookie?
Better, Pookie. One more, Pookie. Nope. Here we go. Go, Pookie, go!
Alright, and up. And up.
Not
Okay.
sure.
I think
What
it was
did
a
we
win.
break?
No? What was that?
Ace, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know, I'm
what we
too far
broke.
away. Too far away to tell if his nose is broken.
He's a Tengu, you've got to break his nose.
His face does look a bit scuffed.
Yeah.
He decided to throw a pine cone at me.
Yeah. Man, I really hope they fix that for future Monster Hunter entries with the wire bug recovery.
It's a
It just
bit overpowered.
like there's so many times when I'm still relearning this game where I'm like, I should have not just taken a big punish there. I should have probably died. But no.
You can just, nope, out of it.
Nah, it's okay.
That said, though, I wouldn't mind if some of the wire bug mechanics stayed for the insect glaive. 'Cause they really do, I think, add to this weapon in particular. Not all of them, like not the get out of punish free card, but a lot of the mobility ones. All right. Get him, Kulu.
Oh.
Redeem yourself. Prove you're not useless. Bonk.
Kulu, get out of the way.
Nope. I have
No, you useless bird, Kulu!
How do I de-lock on target?
You can't. It's
I can only toggle it to something else.
because Kulu didn't get out of there quick enough. He's getting bonked.
I just triple bonked the dude. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
but you
know
did
what
it
to do.
miles away from everybody else, so it was a waste of time.
Oh, he got the bonk damage.
Why am I trying to bug Kulu? Oh,
Why would you do this?
there's orange. Yep. And up.
So yeah, this is
Oh, jeez.
we are on fire.
I need to sharpen, and he's going to throw pine cones at me. So, free shots for you guys, I guess.
He's tail flapping on me, but he's kind of missing because I'm bouncing on his head.
Ah! He saw me up at the tree line.
So yes, we have an email that we'll get to after the
That's
monkey is.
probably not an opportune moment.
Yeah, we have a monkey to fight first.
Yeah, after the monkey is dead, we will get to the email. I think I pasted it in the show host board.
Yes, you did. And up.
That tail's gonna pop. It's gonna pop soon.
Yeah, he's got to be close to losing the tail.
The tail doesn't come off.
No, but
No, I meant-
it still breaks.
Yeah, but it's already broken.
Is it? Oh, it is too,
It
yeah.
just broke. It just broke. His wings can break, I
Yes,
think.
they can.
Yep.
And we broke his face already. What else? Anything else they can break?
Face, tail, wings. No, I think that's about it.
Ah!
Whoosh.
Nope, he appears to be having a bad day.
Not what I wanted to do, but never mind.
You see the portable Dragonator?
Yeah. All right.
Which wing was it?
His right. Oh, I just completely whiffed that.
Ooh, a large beast gem.
Nice.
Just picked it up off the ground. Ah! Mini pine cones.
Did he just duck my zoom? What a jerk. Yeah. Hopefully, they haven't spoiled everything they're going to add. Like, we know they're going to add in a new Basil Gaius subspecies. Well, not a new one, an old Basil Gaius subspecies.
You mean the world one?
Yeah. The one that plays ping pong with your corpse.
Oh, the fun one.
Yes, the one that everybody loves.
The seething one?
Yes. That one.
He is a jerk that will not drop his parts for me in the world save I have on PC.
Yeah.
I forget. I think I need his parts for like an amulet or something, or a pendant, and whatever they're called in that game. And I just cannot get him to drop it. He's been so mean to me.
We're also getting a subspecies for Almudron, which I'm annoyed because it was a fake out. I thought we were going to get Agnactor, but no.
There are problems with that skeleton.
Yeah, the skeleton just does not work properly for some reason.
Yeah, there's collision problems and it falls through the world and lots of things.
It's also
It
why we
seems to
haven't
me
got-
like they've got some kind of spaghetti code problem with the actual engine that nobody can work out how to fix.
Yeah, but it really only seems to affect some Leviathans.
No, it affects all of them that have the Agnactor Lagiacrus model. All of the ones that have that Leviathan form, they all have that problem.
Yeah.
But they haven't been able to work out why or how to fix it.
Yeah,
It's
thankfully.
a different model to the Elmudron one. It's not. While the skeletons have some similarities, the differences appear to make all the difference in terms of whether or not it can be executed correctly.
Yeah, Almudron and Mitzi are similar, but they're not quite the same.
Apparently, it's to do with how low to the ground the belly sits.
Yeah.
Then the sort of the extra snakiness of the Agnactor and Lagiacrus models cause problems.
In both cases, when they need to zoom, they don't run. They'll actually just tuck up their legs and go sliding around on their bellies. I'm wondering if that's part of it. Without being in Capcom, we'll probably never know. Gonna keep styling on him. Except my bug juice is gonna wear out halfway through my combo because I hate you. Alright.
He should be on his way to...
should be getting close.
He doesn't look very happy, I have to say.
He is not a healthy looking monkey bird.
He appears to be having quite the day. We appear to be oh, he's limping. Oh yeah. This one requires a bit more focus, so this segment is just fighting the monkey bird. If it was peak in practice in world, then
oh yeah, we can completely no-brain it, but
this is not that. So we actually have to
we've
pay
also
attention to
got
the
two
monkey.
of us using a totally unfamiliar weapon.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm starting to remember how the game actually plays. What the heck? I say that
And
as
then
I
you
go
get stopped.
shoot.
Yeah, you're basically
it-
inviting disaster at that point.
Like I was starting to remember how this works, and then I get stuck on the wall and go shoot up it somehow, and I have no idea what happened.
Oh, there he goes. Alright,
Remember to carve the monkey bird.
gotta carve your monkey bird. So yeah, I'm
I'm-
wondering how many monsters that they've got that they haven't revealed. Like, Iceborne, they had a few, not to mention, of course, the big reveal at the end.
Most people are pretty convinced that the first patch will have Sand Barrioth. The desert Barrioth.
Yeah, Sam Barrioth
Which-
would be alright.
I hate in
But
stories too.
but-
Like, he's my worst enemy.
everyone loves tornadoes that are going to tear your skin off.
Yeah, they did announce the the sword dude, spiky dude. That the whatchamacallit, the flagship who's really dumb and nobody likes him.
Seregios?
Yeah, so he was one of the earlier announcements, but I've never fought a Seregios before, so I'm sort of interested to do that.
He's a flying pine cone, is what he is.
And I've seen people bandying about the names of monsters that I've never heard before as well, so I don't know whether or not they're new or what.
Yeah. Apparently there is one that they've brought in from one of the Frontier games. Which,
Isn't Frontier like the weird one?
yeah, which hasn't happened before. It was always long believed that those games were just in a separate continuity or franchise or whatever you want to call it, just not in
Because
the main line.
Because they were clearly a sandbox for them to do weird fights just as an experiment.
Yeah, largely. So bringing a few of those in kind of opens up a lot more doors. Alright, shall we take a look at the email?
I'm not going to read it, I can barely talk.
It comes from our good buddy Cerathus, and he says, "Dear no excuses." First of all, yes, there is a subgenre for everything. Horde shooter, hero shooter, auto battler, and the Earthbound-inspired quirky RPG maker game about depression. Like Amori, which is actually about dissociative amnesia, bleh, that's a word, and has a pretty banging soundtrack. Or Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. 3 guesses what the mass is and if Jimmy survives. The mass is something unspeakable and Jimmy does not survive.
It's cancer!
It's
It's always
cancer.
cancer.
Or the very particular genre of Dota clone, aka MOBA. I have a particular hate for Heroes of New Earth, mostly because it pretty much killed Savage 2. You should be talking about this in past tense now, by the way. It did. Then sometime later, it killed S2 Games, even though they tried Savage Resurrected. At least we still have Natural Selection 2 if you want to play an FPS RTS hybrid.
Except nobody plays Natural Selection anymore, do they?
Nobody plays. Well, that's
Like,
an interesting
you're-
question. I wonder if they do.
Somebody can look up the stats page if they know how.
Yeah, I'll look that up. So yeah, it was a fairly unique game. There was a couple of RTS FPS games that are around, but by and large, like you had the Battlezone games and stuff like that, but they weren't exactly what you'd call MOBAs. Let's see. Natural Selection 2. Selection 2. Natural Selection 2. It's got a small audience. All-time peak is about 9,500. 24-hour peak is 260. So there's people playing it. Not many, but there's people.
The small group of dedicated faithful.
Yeah. I missed Savage 2 completely, but there was... What was that one? I believe Riot made it before League of Legends. Or what was it called?
No, I'm pretty sure League was Riot's first game.
Wasn't Riot. I'm thinking of someone else. But back in the day, on Blue Please, Total Biscuit used to promote it very heavily. The game with giant freaking bats.
What?
You don't remember those?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Essentially, what it was is an asymmetric MOBA type game where all players but one would be a hero, and one player would be kind of the RTS overlord.
That's Savage.
That was Savage, yes. The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there was in fact a game called Savage that came before Savage 2.
Yeah, that's no guarantee anymore. So, there was Savage and there was a couple of other ones. Battlezone was another one like that as well. Anyway, in other news, I have caught up with the second half of Young Justice Season 4. Continuing the theme, the last 12 episodes consist of 3 arcs of 4 episodes, plus a finale. And boy is it woke. Yeah, I heard that. Proudly portraying...
It's Western animation. Like, you can count on one hand the number of Western animation things that have been made since 2010 that aren't woke.
It's not many. Although a lot of them are getting their funding cut out from them as Netflix is going broke. So that's fun.
Yeah. Not because those shows are failing, but because they simply can't afford to keep creating new shows from whole cloth.
They can't keep creating shows as well that they get no return of.
No, they don't care about return. They're not interested in return. They've never been interested in return.
That's the
They're
problem.
just interested in pushing the message. The problem is that money will run out eventually. Only those come... money hasn't run out in Hollywood because BlackRock is financing everything to make sure that they can keep pushing their message. But Netflix doesn't have so many friends.
Yeah, they've realised that these shows don't make money, and now they've got to start putting out stuff that does. Anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, proudly portraying several mental disorders, like the TISM, claustrophobia, fear of the guy who gives you presents in December. That's not... Hang on, what? That's a terrible joke, and I hate it. I love it. Claustrophobia being... Yeah, the fear of the guy who gives you presents in December is claustrophobia. This is a Phoenix Wright level pun right here.
But I like Santa Claus.
Sodomy and polyamory. The latter two are especially prevalent in Atlantis, maybe due to the lack of natural sunlight down there. Or because of a lot of the population are partly or wholly sea life. So they like fish sticks. They like putting fish sticks... I don't want to read this. What are you talking about, Sarathas?
I think he's upset with the show.
Yeah. He's trying to make me say horrible things. Look, it's either this or isekai upon isekai upon isekai deconstruction because that stuff is being ran into the ground that hard. Yeah.
It has to hit the end soon.
It does.
Like, the next core worth of shows are looking incredibly anemic.
If you take out all the isekais, there's what, 2 shows?
Yeah, not many. No, not really much in the way of worth watching. Like, it's going to be a quiet season for me, I think. I don't think I'm going to be picking up too many of these shows.
Yeah.
If you take out the isekais in the last several seasons, like, stuff of note is what? Spy Family and Komi Can't Communicate?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't watched Komi Can't Communicate because everybody that I have on my social media feed who does watch it says that it's basically an inferior adaptation to reading the original material.
It ran out of gas after about 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. Last paragraph, which is also promised to me to be terrible. Speaking of tentacles, I got my digital copy of Blade Devil, a comic by some fat neckbeard who constantly goes on about how we need to gatekeep our hobbies from commie infiltrators.
Well, I agree.
We do.
We do. There is such a thing as good gatekeeping.
Gatekeep all your hobbies.
I'm really sort of like, I know that there was a period in history because I remember hearing of it that there was a real strong push to remove all gatekeeping because gatekeeping was bad, but I don't remember which voices were behind it. I just remember hearing it.
It was kind of unanimous to a degree.
I remember getting behind it because it sounded good at the time, and then realizing how stupid it was later.
Yeah,
I was always an elitist. I didn't want baddies in my games. Like, I mean, you should have dropped that idea the second that we tried to run a sodding Cataclysm raid guild, Ari.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't too long after that I dropped that. Give it about a year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the moment that you have to try and do something difficult with baddies, you realise that gatekeeping is necessary.
Okay, where was he? Raging Golden Needle is his name. And he is probably right. He is also a pervert whose comic features a lot of female nudity. Top half only, because we are gentlemen. And quite a bit of disembowelment. It also seems to be only part 1, so we don't actually get anywhere other than world building and showing off how OP the main heroine is. And her curves. She gets interrupted a whole lot while showering. Not that I'm complaining. And that's from Serathis.
Yeah, I'm not really much into just reading smut for its own sake.
Yeah. But, I kind of agree on the gatekeeping thing.
Yeah, I think that more people will come around to that. Like, I was never a sort of person who wanted to involve everybody in the hobby because the hobbies are hobbies because the people involved are insane and...
They're dedicated. Let's be nice about it.
And, well, I mean, I speak from the first person. Like for most hobbies, at some level, you are going to hit the tier at which everybody in there has some kind of mental defect that permits them to be part of their hobby.
Yeah.
And it's sort of an entry requirement, that level of insanity. Like,
embrace your autism.
But
there's a reason we describe things in our particular flavors of autism when we get deep into whatever we're doing at that particular moment.
Yeah, because it is to be sufficiently involved in something of the sorts of types that we tend to get involved in, and this applies to varieties of geekery across the board, requires a level of monomaniacal focus that is dangerous and has to be carefully controlled.
Yeah.
And I mean that seriously. It's the same sort of thing that, you can see in gambling addicts. Like, they are monomaniacally focused on, feeding that urge, and it destroys their lives a lot of the time.
Yeah, you got to be able to control it, but...
So, yeah, it is... The thing is that it is a mania. You just need to have a good grasp of just how deeply into it you are. But the thing is that sort of level of madness is what creates the best experiences, which is why, all artists are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's true that anybody can do art, however, people will only remember the crazy people's art.
Yeah, there's a fine line between passion and insanity.
So, yeah, I've always been of the point of view that the fandom is only for people who are fans. End of story. And that in order to be a fan, you need to express fanaticism.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be.
It's kind of in the name.
Yeah, you can't be a casual fan. There is no such thing as a casual fan. You can take a casual interest in something, but you won't be part of the fandom. You'll just be somebody on the outside who thinks that it's sort of interesting. I knew a lot because I was really in high school. I was really into 40k. I spent all of my disposable income pretty much on 40k. Spent all of my free time building and painting 40k when I wasn't playing it. I spent all of my weekends at the wargaming club playing against people. And I knew people who dabbled in it as well.
Yeah.
And they were very clearly dabblers. They didn't hang around. These people, they weren't of the malevolent kind because they didn't try and reshape things. Although there were a couple of people who thought they ought to, like when the club that I was a part of got its first like 1 or 2 female members, they started to be concerned about how they needed to reshape it because it was very much a sweaty male environment, and the actual concern was sort of a legal one, is that now you've got sort of like 1 or 2 relatively young, vulnerable women in a building full of sweaty men who are getting worked up over their toy soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there were certain things that needed to be thought about from a legal standpoint, but there wasn't this cultural push to say, oh no, we need to make the hobby more feminine to get more girls involved or whatever. That was never the case.
Yeah, what the whole big push between killing gatekeeping was basically is fans wanting to spread their hobby. But by throwing the gates wide open and inviting everyone in, yeah, you got a lot more people in there and a lot more people to share your hobby with. But you also invited in certain bad actors who kind of just saw your hobby and didn't approve of it.
Well, they don't even have to be bad actors.
It wasn't just the bad actors. Like, the fair weather fans that came in, who just came to dabble, playing against them was a manifestly less interesting and less enjoyable experience, because they wouldn't assemble their models properly. They wouldn't paint their models properly, if at all. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, they would show it with half-built sprue grey models and a bunch of proxies and expect you to treat that like a real battle, even though you had spent dozens and dozens and dozens of hours putting your best efforts into paint things. Like, I was never a great painter, but every one of my models was painted, and I didn't want to use any models that weren't painted.
Yeah.
Like, I would leave my best units on the bench if they hadn't met my standards. The only time I would bring in an unfinished model was when somebody really, really wanted to play a larger scale game than I had the points value to make up for with my completed models. And then I would grudgingly use some of my half-finished, half-painted ones. But usually I avoided it.
Yeah.
But the people who just came in briefly, they diluted the experience to everybody. Because a fight between 2 people with fully painted, fully assembled armies that they've put a lot of love and care into, it's a sight to behold. It's really spectacular. And those games attracted spectators.
Yes.
Nobody spectates a game where 2 people are playing against each other with sprue grey models. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Think of if you want to relate it to a hobby that might be a bit closer to some people in our circles. Think of it like MMOs. It doesn't take a malicious actor. It just takes a whole bunch of casuals to ruin an MMO.
Yeah, and that's the other downside of opening the doors, is you got all those fair weather fans who came in and it was like, they basically would hit a community like the whirlwind. They'd come in, they'd scream, they'd jump around, and then they'd leave just as quickly.
Yeah, and when you throw open the gates, you invite this wide demographic of people, but this also means that you, the dedicated, are not where most of the money's coming from anymore, because there's so many more people to get money from the wide gates who just let flood with normies.
Yeah, and we see this time and time again. That once the fad crowd comes in, the company will swing and inevitably cater to them. And then as soon as they're gone, they realise that their long-term fans are not happy. And they've been ignored.
So I'm sure that Games Workshop's business has really, really suffered from that, because when they boomed, they jacked all their prices up. And now even the formerly extremely dedicated fans, a large portion of them just buy Chinese knockoffs now.
Yeah. Wizards of the Coast is kind of up in the boom at the moment, but they're going to have a very big crash very soon, I think.
I would imagine they're already in one.
I stopped watching their professional scene, and I know a lot of other people did as well. Because I used to. Back sort of just before Theros, I watched a lot of professional play, simply for its entertainment value, because they were skilled players playing against each other, and it was interesting to see them play against each other. But they did a big push to just get more female players in. Like, there was basically one decent female player for every 30 decent male players, simply because it's a hobby involving the sort of laser-focused monomania that males specialise in. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the total lack of respect for that fundamental concept of sexually dimorphic psychology is the fact that nobody wants to acknowledge that is idiotic to me. But men are better at things that require a narrow monomaniacal focus, period, end. there will be outliers at either ends of the bell curve for both sexes, but males are better on average at that type of thing. So women will be hugely outnumbered. But they tried to just forcibly include more women in the hobby. They kept doing ad campaigns about how, oh, it's for everyone. Well, it's not really for everyone. It's for people who want to play it. If they don't want to play it, then you don't need to try and convince them that they do.
If they really want to play it, they're going to play it regardless of their sex. Doesn't matter.
And ultimately, what happened was all that did was bring in a whole bunch of scandals. Mm-hmm. Some of them probably legit because, you know, there are lots of really evil Magic players.
There are neckbeards.
Well, it's not just that they're neckbeards. It's a lot of the people at the top. They had been through that mill where they get a certain amount of petty power that goes to their heads. Mm-hmm. Like both being like a prominent figure at their local store or whatever can make a person megalomaniacal, and also being a judge. The ones that had gone through that process, a lot of them got megalomania out of that. And the big problem that I saw with the way the community had gone at the higher levels was pedophilia, not sexual harassment. Because it's a hobby that tries to attract kids, right? Because you've got to get that psychology in place at a young age to hook them for life.
Hook them to that cardboard crack.
And but you would end up with these, you know, these prominent figures who have gone from societal outcast to the centre of attention in their local shop or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that power went right to their heads, so you ended up with a lot of predators ending up on that track because they were already a bit screwed up, and suddenly they've been given infinite power from their point of view. Yeah. So yeah, that I think was the real grassroots problem, and it wasn't really to do with gatekeeping. But when they did try and pull the brakes off gatekeeping, what they actually did was they included a bunch of women are oppressed type scandals, which took away all the attention from solving the real problems at the grassroots level, which was people getting out over their skis because they're drunk on power, and then you ended up with the various sexual predators, both for harassing female players and for harassing children. And that was the real problem, but instead you just had sort of like large-scale scandals, which the company WotC would do a whole bunch of virtue signalling to try and offset. Mm-hmm. And that type of thing, of course, like we've seen how it plays out long term, right? Like the absurd statement made by Sega about how Sega of America is going to donate all this money to Planned Parenthood and so on. Like that's not your job.
I don't think
that's
they
not what people
actually do that.
Huh?
I don't think they ever actually did that.
Well, they haven't had a chance yet. It was the other day.
Yeah.
Like this is not an old thing. This is a thing they just did.
Okay.
I linked it to Ari. It was posted yesterday. We are matching employee donations to Planned Parenthood, Narrow Pro-Choice America Foundation, and other accredited non-profit organisations supporting reproductive rights as selected by our team members.
Right, as part of the
laying aside the fact that reproductive rights is not a real thing, because it is a right by definition cannot afford an entitlement to somebody else's labour. This is not what people give Sega money for. But because you have, rather than Sega being a company run by fanatics for fanatics, the way games companies were way back when, now we've got, oh well, so if you buy a game from Sega, they're going to use it to kill babies with. Period, end. So now I've got a moral obligation to never purchase a Sega product. I didn't want that crap. I want to play Project Diva games, and now I can't. I can't buy any more of those.
No.
Because they're going to be used to kill babies with. The hell is wrong with these people?
So yeah, without getting down that rabbit hole, was
just what I'm saying is stay in your lane, damn it.
Yeah, just make games. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, make games for people who like games. Don't make games for people who don't like games. Don't make animation for people who don't want to watch animation. Don't write comics for people who don't read comics. Because you're not going to get an improvement in quality out of this crap. There's not a single game is going to be made better because of a Sega donation to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Anyway, we're starting to run low of time, so we need to keep moving.
Let's go.
Plank.
Yeah, I gotta work, and I don't wanna.
So, yeah. Where was I? Did we finish the email?
We did, so thank you very much for that, Certus. We kind of went off into the weeds a little bit, but never mind.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say about the emails, I don't want games that are about cancer and depression.
Well, they're always so ham-fisted about it, too.
Well, it's not just that they're ham-fisted, none of them are any good.
Yeah, they're also crap.
What they are, to the limited extent that they are good at anything, they are good at being like tear-jerker thought pieces about some sickness or other. In other words, they're not good at being video games.
Yeah,
And
it's the same issue with all that we have with all the gay and all the women focused stuff is that takes priority over making a good game, and we're also in saturation point with these types of games.
Yeah.
There are too many of them out there already.
It's like the gaming equivalent of the Oscar bait movie.
yeah, no, they're just trying to get plaudits. That's all.
That's all.
They're going for that Games for Change award that Keighley gives out.
Yeah, don't go for that award. It's a bad award.
But yeah, it's a mess with all the companies kowtowing to all this stuff right now, just because they just it must just feel good. I think that's just what it comes down to. It feels like they are doing something virtuous, and even though they're not, it makes them just get the good feels deep inside for some reason. They get the Twitter ass pats.
Gotta get the Twitter ass pats.
Well, I mean, they appear to get the Twitter ass pats, but nobody can tell what the actual temperature is on social media because social media is controlled from above.
Besides, it changes so freaking often it's impossible to keep track.
But you won't see any change, that's the thing. Because they just censor anybody who doesn't have the approved view.
Yeah. Whatever that happens to be that day. Anyway.
They'll get eaten by the machine. That's what always happens.
Yeah. Anywho, we have some patch notes for Final Fantasy 6.2 to quickly...
Well, we have a dead summary anyway for
I
the
pulled
first half
the
of it.
summary from Reddit last night because I wasn't sure if there was an official one.
Yep. So we'll do a quick skim of this. So, current estimated launch date is late August.
Yep, and that's fine with me. That'll give me a bit of time to get caught up because I still haven't managed to complete a single set of Limbo gear or a single set of Aglaya gear because
they
I
refuse
can't
to
get the
freaking
test to drop.
Yeah,
No, it's not the chest
finally,
I'm missing. Actually, I think I'm missing the boots this time.
I'm honestly starting to think that Aglaya aiming gear just doesn't exist.
If you're not with me, I only see aiming gear drop.
Figures.
It's just aiming every time. Aiming and scouting, aiming and scouting.
Yeah, but the moment I'm with you, it was all healing.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't have to do too bad with the Glaya. It took me 6 weeks, I think, with only a few weeks of double and triple runs.
Yeah, I don't have the time to do triple runs in a week. I just don't have that sort of free time.
Yeah, it would. We would just the way I would do it with Ebu is we would just sack our roulettes for the day and do a Glaya instead.
Yeah. I'm going to be focusing mainly on Sunbreak for a little while at least, so that project will fall by the wayside. And basically, this August release date will give me time to play some Sunbreak.
But
Yeah.
I think we need to cover the most important change coming first and foremost with this new patch.
Glamour dresser capacity!
Yes.
Yes!
Do you know how full my dresser is of just junk that I've accrued of I might use that eventually, and there's no room for stuff when I actually want to go hunt for glamour stuff?
Yeah, I've got, I think, about 370 slots filled, and I've sort of been keeping those last 30 slots, refusing to put anything in them just in case I see something I have to put in it.
Yes!
So I've officially banned Ebu from ever complaining about me doing Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High so much ever again. That boy has run like 14 runs of Tower of Paradigm's Breach for the healing set this week alone. While I've been at work.
He needs to get a job, like, badly.
And he's always in there, and he's sitting there like, oh, he finally got his chest piece to drop today. He's like, oh, hang on, I gotta go clean out my glamour dresser to make room for it. Like,
Alright. We're getting the next bit of Pandemonium and the next bit of Tattoo's Grand Endeavour.
Yep.
yeah.
Which will, the next Tattoo Quest one will require you to have completed the Heavensward Alliance raid, so if you haven't, then do it.
Yep. It doesn't take that long. And basically it's don't die. Just don't die.
I thought it was a fun little story as well.
I haven't done it actually. I need to get this one on the list.
Like it's got throwaway characters that you don't really see much beforehand or later, although you will see them at the end of Endwalker. I don't know if you have to have done them or not for them to appear.
No.
But yeah.
But yeah, they're there, and they're cute, and most the fights in the raids mechanically are interesting, especially for the time they came out. They do a whole lot of fun stuff, and Diablos hits like a Mack truck on steroids.
Yes. All right.
Anytime you get that in a roulette, just hope if you're healing, good luck.
That was fun to do though. With you, I remember doing that one with you. I think I was a healer as well, was I?
I think we were dual healing it, and the tank. I think our tank was tanking Diablos, and so
it was interesting. It was fun though. Alliance raids can present you with some of the most fun healing experiences.
Yeah.
Well, it can also present you with a lot of heart attacks.
Yeah, or a guy who decides to direct the laser directly at your group.
Could love that laser. Anyway, carrying on because time.
Yeah, right.
We're getting more Hildebrand as well as Mandeville weapons.
Yes, the Relic Weapon series for this expansion is going to be Mandeville weapons. I am both eagerly anticipating and deeply dreading what this might mean.
I have no idea what any of these could be. They could be Golden Saucer kind of themed, which, I mean, yeah, okay. Or they could be Hildebrand themed, which means they could be just about anything.
It could be
a golden statue of Godbit in his small clothes.
Every weapon is just some variant of a Godbert statue.
Marauders just have, instead of an axe, the axe head is just Godbit's underpants.
Which makes me really dread what the gun's gonna look like. Oh, no, actually, the Astro weapon. What is that gonna look like if it's just Godbert?
It's just like it's a sort of a hovering statue of Godbit with smaller statues of Godbit orbiting it.
Yeah. So that's terrifying.
Mechanist weapon is just Nash's bombs.
It could just be Nash's bombs.
But anyway, the important parts about this are, number one, you must have played the Hildebrand storylines, all of them, in order to participate in this. So as I posted the meme in the MMORPG channel of Yoshi P holding a gun on the player. I am no longer asking you to do Hildebrand.
Alright, we're getting a new Beast Tribe quest, which is
you skipped over the other imp thing that we need to mention that's important. Is that it's not a zone-based relic weapon.
Oh, yes, we did miss that.
That's important because there was, like I mentioned earlier, there was a lot of debate over whether people wanted to do it to be more like Eureka or not, because apparently there are crazy people. But they are not doing a zone-based one. They're doing a quest-based one. So it's going to be more like what we saw previously in Heavensward and in A Realm Reborn. I don't know what the logic is behind that, what their thinking was that made them decide to go that route this time. I hope they talk about it a bit more because I'm interested to know.
Given that it's probably going to be the Hildebrand questline that's part of it, there's no logic.
Yeah, I'm sort of interested, like, is this about participation rates? Is this about they just felt that they've played that idea out for the time being? Is it that they want to devote that type of content to another type of progression that's going to happen later? Like, how are they doing this?
And I would be dubious of any kind of answer they give that claims the end of Baja was rushed, because it does feel rushed, but that also was prime lockdown time. Is when that last section of Baja was coming out.
Yeah, anyway.
Where were we? Beast Tribe. So the Omicrons, those weird robot-y dudes who were originally going to destroy your life, but now seem to be perfectly happy to faff around in space.
No, the gathering quests. I feel like this is a bit... Gathering one's always a bit odd because a lot of the time you either... Unless you've completely ignored your gathering skills like I have, you've usually maxed them by now. So it's sort of a bit weird. But maybe I'll take the opportunity to power level my fishing or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. You got a while yet because it's going to be the Lopper.
I presume you can do
bonus.
fishing. I've never actually gotten fishing above like 12, so
I don't actually know because you would be insane to do those daily quests as fishing.
All right.
I wouldn't know because I don't know how it works. So
All right. Apparently, there's going to be the trial series is going to begin in 6.2. No more information on that though.
yeah, well, it's going to have its own story and everything, so they might not have done the introduction yet, and they don't want to spoil it. I mean,
Yeah.
if we remember how they announced Aglaya, Yoshi P was like absolutely paranoid about accidentally spoiling people.
Yeah, and the Shadowbringers trial quests were really, really good. So they're coming off of something really strong. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Pop.
All right. Unreal Sephiroth.
Well, I guess everybody wanted to listen to that music some more.
It is a pretty banging soundtrack.
Yeah, but it is an interesting fight. I'm not ever going to participate in that content, most likely. Unreal Trials are something for people who are good at the game,
Yes.
not for
and
people like me. So
Sephiroth's going to be something special, I think.
yeah, I wonder. I often wonder if I would have gotten to do all of this cool stuff if I was still younger and had a whole bunch of free time on my hands. But I don't.
Yeah.
So them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks. Oh, hey, there's little pictures in there.
Yeah, I've been floating around the map looking for all the little Easter eggs that I could find on it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Look,
All right.
Kitty Choo Choo Train.
You can players can repair gear inside duties now.
We not do that before?
Nope. Only if there was a repair vendor there.
Choo choo.
So that's that. Alright, I'm just going to quickly skim because my time is pretty much up. Return of Ivalice is getting rejiggered a bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit jank to do.
Yeah.
So maybe some of those quests in there are just annoying, and I'd rather not do them. Like the one where you fetch crap for that guy. Not really interested in that.
Yep. The Adventure Plate and Portrait system's getting also rejiggered to be less of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they're tying it. You make a portrait for a gear set now.
That's a lot of work, but it's good.
Yeah, as long as it actually
better than what we got.
saves what your portrait is, because it seems to keep just randomly forget what portrait you're using. Half the time it goes back to the default.
If you change your class at all after you made it, the portrait only remembers what it is for your instant portrait for the class you just set as instant portrait.
So you switch your class set and it just resets back to default. That's what
and
it is.
you got to go back to the portrait menu and hit set as instant portrait
Okay.
every time you change. Otherwise, it resets to default.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been playing with it at all because, frankly, it's very hard to use. Like, as far as a obvious UI goes, it does not have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
It's pretty good.
But,
They do mention that you will need to redo all your portraits, though.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Took me all of 3 seconds to make my current one. So
Is it cheesecake?
no, it's in the MMORPG thread.
Speaking of, though, this is probably part of what they are working on, is that they'll be trying to cull more of the cheesecake.
Yeah,
Because
it got a bit silly.
People have managed to generate some extraordinarily salacious stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, Dalmascan hempen top with the camera angle just pointed straight down between the boobage.
It's
That is not even close to the raciest one I've seen either.
Oh no. There's
The ones
looking
where
up.
it's the ones that people have strategically used sticker censorship and stuff. Because I mean, it's a well-known phenomenon, right? That the brain will fill in the details. So if you can exclude the fact that your character is wearing anything by using sticker censorship, then the brains of onlookers will read that as a nude image.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, before we're going to there's a whole bunch of other little stuff after this, but we're not going to go into that. New Tombstone of Causality.
Yeah, standard tombstone rotation.
Yep. Which means there's going to be another level of gear you can get, probably tied into Pandemonium.
I'll just blitz through the rest of it super quickly. Okay, so there's job adjustments coming out. There's going to be an overhaul to Dragoon and Astrologian, but it's been postponed due to basically the amount of work required. But there's going to be other tweaks as well that'll be talked about in the next live letter. PvP is going to go to the next season of Crystalline Conflict. That is not the next PvP season, just the next Crystalline Conflict season, so ranks will be locked in soon. Rival Wings is also returning for those people who love Rival Wings. The duty support system is going to be introduced for some storyline dungeons that are in Heavenswood. And Steps of Faith is going to be converted from multiplayer to a single-player duty, and Thornmarch Hard is going to be nerfed since it's going to be the first trial people face, and Thornmarch Hard can be a bit of a trial.
Yeah.
The variant/criterion dungeons, this is really interesting. They're going to be run with 1 to 4 players, and it's basically going to have an ultra difficult mode that you can play, which has lots of restrictions, like the difficulty will go up if you take too long. You can't use revivals in the dungeons. If the party wipes, all the enemies come back to life. That sort of thing. Like, it's just designed to be a small group experience that is incredibly difficult that you can work on with a pre-formed group for an extended period of time. And the island sanctuaries, which are going to be sort of casual solo content, are going to be implemented as well. But there's not a great deal of information on it yet. Most of it will be in part 2 of the live letter. Also upcoming, there's a 24-hour maintenance to implement the data center travel.
Yes, which I believe will actually come before... Is that still going to be before 6.2, or is that
July
now
the 4th.
part?
July the 4th.
Aha.
And it
So,
happens on
tomorrow.
the day I have... tomorrow's the 3rd, so... or today is now the 3rd.
You're in the wrong time zone.
Yeah. So it will jump to... it'll be the 4th... Basically, they're going down in about 28 hours for 24 hours.
Yeah, it depends on which time zone they've tied that to.
Yeah, that's the quick crash course version of it. So Fern can get away.
Alright, so let us wrap up then, shall we?
Yep.
Alright. Do the spiel.
Alright, closing comments go.
Don't want to work. And Vol's dying.
Yep. Why does the service have to go down the day I have, like, off work?
Just play Sunbreak instead.
It's like a rule.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
I guess I'll have a whole day to just sunbreak it up.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll have finished the story and we'll be on, like, chapter 3.
Yes.
So yeah, that's all we got, folks. Not a whole lot happening this week. Most kind of fillery a little bit, but still got some stuff. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We need to get out of here so far and go to work. So, we'll see y'all next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.